Hi everyone. Another quick project I'm gonna do quickly is, I don't remember if you can remember, a few videos ago I made for the artist friend of mine, Jan Kutsie. I made for him some boxes or bookshelves, little boxes, and he needs another one. So this box, it's gonna be 420 wide on the inside, 260 high on the inside, and then 230 millimeters wide. I've got a piece of key art left that is actually wide enough for that. It's just a bit thick at the moment, so I'm just going to plane it down to 25 millimeters quickly, and then we start making this box. So guys, to get one edge square so that I can put it through the table saw, I'm using the tri-steel track saw. Set my width now to 230 millimeters, which is the final width. Let's put it through. So guys, I've got this mold up now to final dimensions, which is now 25 millimeters thick. I must now add my 420 plus 50 millimeters, because we're going to make finger joints again, same as the last time. So my 420 is going to end up as a 470. Going to need two of them, and then the two short sides. Let's chop them up on the miter saw, get them parts. The way I measure my stack is I measure what my block is, and then take that and transfer that to my stack. That way I don't have to battle to get it done while mounted in the table saw. What I just realized, guys, is that my stack can't go as high as 25 millimeters. So I'll have to put all the parts through the planer again, get them thinner, and then recalculate all the sizes again, unfortunately. The maximum I can go to is 21 millimeters. I've put them all through the planer and then readjusted all the lengths, and now I can set the height of my dado stack to the thickness of my wood. Let's go. So guys, I hope you remember to learn from my mistakes. Nothing loose hanging. The last incident with the dado stack was with a lanyard that was hanging around my neck. So please make sure nothing loose hanging when working with anything that revolves, or like the lathe, the table saw, the bench saw, anything. And of course, now with the tabletop and the top of the table saw that I dropped a little bit, I've got so much more control, and I don't have to hang over so far to see down into the blade. As you can see, when we glue it up, we'll make sure it's 100% square. And I make my fingers just a little bit, just a very tiny little bit too long, so that when I sand it, I end up nice and flush. Rather too long than too short on the fingers. There we are, guys. In the glue, in the clamps. We'll wait for this to dry now, and then we'll give it a good sand and some polyurethane. Another small project done. Hi everyone, welcome to the little woodshop again. So the little boxes for the artist friend of mine is finished. They are done. It's little shelves, boxy thingamajiggies that I built. I just added an extra one for my friend, and that's done and dusted out of the workshop. So what I want to continue now with is restoring this old little coffee table. It's got a bit of a wonk to it. The top is a little bit bowed, and the way I want to fix this is I want to take out all the dowel pins, disassemble it totally, so that I can put the legs in the lathe and sand them nice and smooth and clean again. I'm not sure I'm going to fix the top, get the bow out of the top. We'll see as we go. I'm going to just disassemble the whole table quickly. Let me show you how I get the dowel pins out. The way I do it, I take a thin screw, screw it into the dowel, and then pull it out with the pliers. Sometimes you're lucky and it comes out easy. Other times you just have to drill it out. That's all the dowel pins out, and I got them, most of them out quite easily. Some of them had come out in pieces, but you just keep on trying, they'll come out. What I'm going to do now is just take the top off and see if I can disassemble all the tiles and rails and get these legs back on the lathe. So the way I disassemble it then is the Owen clamps, by just taking the head out and remove them, you can convert your clamp from a pull to a push clamp, which will then, if you put it the right way around, can you believe it? There we go. It's then just by putting some tension on with a clamp. What I usually will do then is just, while there's a bit of tension on it, just give it a tap with a rubber mallet, and they will give way. There we are. By doing that, I'll disassemble the whole thing quick and easy. I was very lucky, it came apart quite easy. There's a little bit of tear out here and there, but with some glue and clamps I'll fix that before we assemble it again. It's going to be easy to put them back on the lathe. Of course, the old or the original lathe marks is still everywhere on all four of the legs. So all I want to do is put it in the lathe and just clean up all of this. This I'll do by hand. And just clean it up, get all the nicks and scratches out of it, and see if we can make it new again. So just a comparison, the old one to the new one. I've sanded this now up to grit 220, and I don't know what wood this is. If anybody knows it, it's a very open grain wood, and it's got a very sweet smell when you sand it. So if anybody's got an idea, please comment. Tell me what it is. I haven't got the faintest. It's definitely not Rhodesian teak. I don't think so anyway, because it's got a very open grain. So just a comparison, all the scratch marks and nicks and dents is out of it. Another 3 to go. Let's go. So guys, after a shed load of sanding, I've got everything sanded down now to a 220 grit, except for the top. This only went through the drum sander. I still have some marks that I have to take out with the orbital sander. What helped a lot is by taking this apart and being able to put the legs in the lathe. That saved a lot of time on the sanding, and it made it easier. The flat parts I just sanded with the orbital sander up to 220. I just loosely reassembled it to make sure I get all the pinholes, or what you call it, dowel holes, lined up again, because none of these are drilled at the same place. They are different levels and heights all over the place, but this is the way it's supposed to be. Not glued yet, all still loose, but at least sanded. Still a little bit of a hand sanding on the corners and everywhere left. I'll get that done now. What happened with the top is I sanded the bottom to get the bow out of it, and by doing that I thinned the center of it. Then I turned it over and I sanded the high parts away, and then by sanding and turning every time 90 degrees, shoving it through the drum sander, I got it to an equal thickness right around. It's not perfect, but it's much better. But I lost a lot of detail on the edge now. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to quickly router the edge around again, give it a new edge, and that will help to clean up the edge as well. Then I will sand it with the orbital sander also up to a 220, and then we'll assemble. So for this week, guys, we've done the little box and the table, little coffee table. It's all sanded, ready to be assembled. It's not assembled yet, no glue, no screws anywhere. So next week we'll finish the little coffee table up, assemble everything again, put the dowel pins everywhere. Still a little bit of hand sanding before we start varnishing. What I'm going to put on this is a polyurethane varnish, and the reason for doing that is I don't want to change the color much. The varnish that was on here made it very red, and that takes away all the natural color of the wood. I like to see the color of the wood and the grain of the wood, so for that reason I'm going to use a polyurethane. I'm also not going to make it a gloss polyurethane, I'm going to make it a matte polyurethane. I don't like shiny furniture, so that's my choice. It was a nice little project, and the fact that we disassembled the whole thing made it so much easier and quicker to sand. The top came out nice. As you can see, I changed the profile on the top a little bit because I didn't have the right router bit to match the original edge they had on here. The router bit would have cost more than what I'm asking for the restoration, so math doesn't just make sense. But I like the profile, it's a new profile, and the table has got a new lease on life. It will go another few years and it will serve somebody well. So guys, it was a cold week. I didn't get much done for this week. So far the weather report for next week is not so good. It's going to be just as cold, but I'm going to try and finish this next week and then start with a little study table. Very cute little table. I'm looking forward to start with that. Really dilapidated, needs lots of attention, but we'll give that a new lease on life as well. So guys, please like, follow, subscribe, but most of all, stay safe and enjoy the week.